Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup, well, Life After Lockup, Season 2, Episodes 43 and 44. Alright, so obviously I'm skipping weeks of putting out this content because really nothing happens in just one episode. They like to drag it all out, so it's so much easier just to film one video with 2 episodes. So these videos will be coming out every other week. Alright, let's jump right into our first couple. First we have Tony and Angela. Okay, so you guys, me and my sister were talking about it, and she thinks that Angela has low self-esteem. Now, I would agree. I would say that she has some kind of esteem problem, but I think the bigger problem is that she just has a bleeding heart. So where we begin is that Tony has been sleeping in the car for 3 days now. I don't know if I believe that. There is a scene of him sleeping in that Mississippi sun, girl. It is hot. His feet are hanging out of the window and his pillow is a garbage bag filled with his clothes. Angie got him out there looking dumb. He knocks on the door, he asks Angela if she'll just let him in to use the bathroom and shower, and she's just like, you know what, Tony, you looking real stupid. And I'm like, Angela, you looking real stupid too, girl. Angela's let Tony into the house to only shower and use the bathroom and do his business, and I'm just like, girl, he works at a whole motel. He could just go to work and do his business. She's like, you better be out of my house by the time I get here. Better not be here when I touch down at 5 p.m. And he's like, okay, I love you, Angela, okay, I'll do whatever you say. But then the next scene we have is Tony rolling out of Angela's full-size bed, walking around the house, and her just being in the kitchen, just smoking a cigarette, thinking, cause she knows she looking real dumb right now. Tony, if you're gonna live here, we're gonna have some rules, okay? You're not just gonna sit around my house just doing whatever you want. Meanwhile, Tony's in his confessionals like, I'm gonna stay with Angela because that's my house. It is my house too. I have my parole there. And I'm just like, what? Because you wrote your name down and her address on a parole piece of paper, that means that it's your house too? I'm sorry, what does that, did you sign a title? Did you sign a deed? I'm confused. So Angela's like, Tony, here are the rules for us being together, okay? And I want you to sign it, Tony, because you're not going to be around breaking my heart for much longer. Tony's like, oh. And Angela's like, first, no prostitutes. Second, I get to go through your phone whenever I want to, Tony. Third, no extra money because you have everything that you need. You don't need any extra money from me. And then the list goes on and Tony signs it and Tony's like, I don't like having to sign it because I feel like it's too much, but I'll just do it right now to make her happy. And then Angela's like, what Tony don't know is that I could just take his SIM card out of his phone easily and check his messages. So why do you want this in your life? What does he provide you that is so good that you're willing to settle with a man who you have to write on a piece of paper, no prostitutes? So then later on, Donna Faye comes over. Donna Faye comes over and she's like, so you let him in your house, did you? And Angela's like, yes, I love him and love conquers all. And Donna Faye is like, that's a crock of shit. Love don't conquer all. I just wish that Donna Faye would give me a little eyebrow, you know? Like, I see what's happening with the like black, gray, silver metallic that's on the lid, like, and I'm okay with it. I just need a little eyebrow because it looks like she does not have an eyebrow. It looks like she's naturally like a blonde or like a light brown, and that's the color of her eyebrows. I mean, Angela has the same thing too, but Angela's hair is blonde. I know I just went on a tangent, but this has been really bothering me. The next couple that we're gonna talk about, the throuple, Megan, Michael, and Sarah. I mean, aren't they everybody's favorite couple? They sure are mine. Let's get into a case study about trifling ass Michael, okay? Michael is so low, before we go down that road, let's just tell you what happened. Megan is at Michael's little hotel room suite. He just caught her going through his phone and now they're having a conversation about it. And he's saying that the biggest thing that he needs in his life is a woman who is loyal. For his forever partner, she has to be loyal. I find that so ironic because that's the one thing like he literally just cannot do. And oh no, I skipped a whole part. Girl, let's go back. All right, so where we left off was Megan went to answer the door, and it's just as I predicted, it was Rock. So Michael and Rock go downstairs, and Michael and Rock have this fake fight. Now, as soon as Michael pushes Rock in the face, and they don't have no down on the ground rumble tumble, I know this whole shit is fake, okay? Ain't no man gonna let another man push him in his face and not try to fight. And if there is a man who would let that happen, that man is not for me. Michael standing back like, so what you saying is that you hooked up with Megan? And Rock is like, you know what I'm saying? I got mad love for her. You know, one thing led to another. And I know you my boy. You know, I know we've been through a lot, but I got mad feelings for Megan. Michael's like, she ain't going in and see her. Now Megan's over there like, looking real uncomfortable. And Rock sits down and he's like, so what's up with you? And she's like, what's up? I told you that it was nothing. I told you that I was really there for Mike and you were just somebody who was there to make me feel good and make me feel better. And that's what happened. I told you that in there was nothing up. And he's like, oh, really? That's it? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, all right then. So he gets up and leaves and it's dumb. So then Michael's like, yeah, go ahead and leave then. Yeah, bye. And I'm like, Michael, stop fronting. Stop. You don't care about Megan so long as she serves you. So Megan and Mike sit down to have a conversation and Megan is like, listen, we gotta have this conversation. If whatever happened between me and Rock is in the past, it needs to stay in the past. And Mike's like, nah, you know, we cool, you know, but you can't be going through my phone. I don't like that sneaky shit. And Megan is like, well, I can't trust you. And he's like, you're right. He doesn't say that, but that's basically what it is. And he's like, so what you want to know? What you want to know that's in my phone? And she's like, I want to know if you're talking to other girls. And he's like, huh? You want to know if I'm talking to other girls? And she's like, yes. And then he's like, well, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, if you're trying to go forward with me, then it's just going to be you and I. You can't be talking to no other girls. So you're going to have to make that decision because I'm not doing it. And he's just like, all right. And they just leave it some sort of like open-ended story. Meanwhile, Mike flies home to Michigan, to Flint, right? And he's with his sister Day Day. And he's wearing this hoodie that leaves us to believe that he really is down for Rain and Aviana. But we know, based on what Sarah says, that this fool hasn't even picked up his long, clawed, dirty fingernail to tap some numbers to call them babies. Somebody lying, okay? And I'm inclined to believe that Michael is lying. So him and Day Day are shooting hoops, and Day Day's basically like, I know my brother. I know he's just out there doing whatever, and I really hope that he steps up and take care of his kids. That's really all that matters to me. Then he gets home, talks to his mom, and she got the same situation happening. Girl, I don't have the energy to find the raggedy wig I usually use. But, you know, Caroline is just like, well, you know, are you going to try to move here? Are you going to try to move to Flint? And he's like, nah, I'm not trying to move to Flint. I'm not trying to stay here. And she's like, well, you know, as my son, my only son, I would love for you to be here. And he's just like, nah, it's not the spot for me. She's like, I understand. And then Sarah calls. She's like, I'm gonna get out of your business. And Sarah's like, I just want you to know that I looked at the phone bill and I noticed that you are having a lot of different conversations all over the country and you haven't called and talked to your daughters in the last couple of weeks. So I'm not going to be paying for your phone anymore. And he's like, why you got to call me with all of this? Man, Sarah, you always, and she's just like, I'm just letting you know, I'm not going to pay for it anymore. I'm paid for you to talk to your daughters. You're not even talking to them. So it is what it is. And she's like, you don't answer our phone calls. And he's like, how are you gonna say that I don't answer y'all phone calls? I'm answering right now. And she's just like, all right, and hangs up the phone on him. I can't even deal with somebody who's like him. He's just infuriating. He's one of those people who just tries to gaslight you and make you feel like you're wrong just because he's saying something that don't make any sense. And so many men do that. They just love to like, huh? And repeat shit that you just said and then like try to turn stuff back and the argument don't even be sound. And you're just like, what? Sarah hangs up, you know, Caroline's over there like, after he finished talking to Sarah, Michael goes outside and begins another conversation with a girl named Maria. A Maria that he has known since, I guess, before he knew Sarah, and they rekindled things. I'm assuming this is the same one who called him while he was on the way to see Megan, the one with the 2 kids who went to the park. I'm assuming it's the same girl, but it might not be girl. We don't know. He got hoes in different area codes, you know? He gets on the phone, talks to Maria, tells Maria, hey, you're gonna have to come to Rochester, New York with me, okay? You know, I want to be with you. I want to see you. And she's like, ooh, that's so exciting. I never been to New York City. She says okay. She says okay that she's going to go. And Michael says to producers that he doesn't want to go to Rochester by himself because he doesn't know what Sarah's gonna do. And he just wants somebody to be there and be with him and on his side. And I think to myself, This man thinks that adding fuel to a fire is the way to get through this. All this man has to do is go to Rochester, hang out with his kids for a couple days, sign the divorce papers, and go home. What is he scared of Sarah for? What is gonna happen? Why does he need to have Maria? He doesn't. He just wants to make Sarah feel some kind of way. And I think that that is absolute trash. And speaking of Sarah, so Sarah and Emmy go out, and Emmy got a little cute outfit on. She has this tattoo right here, and I was like, oh, made me consider wanting to do something crazy like that, but I won't. But anyways, I thought about it. And they go to this bar, and this guy comes up. He's mic'd. Sarah hasn't been out in a long time. She hasn't really thought of any other guys but Mike in a long, long time. So she's ready to mingle with a whole ass camera crew. Meanwhile, Emmy is low-key being harassed by the guy sitting next to her. So Sarah's talking to this new guy. Emmy's trying to push her towards the new guy. And I'm like, don't be pushing her towards anything. Let this girl settle and get out of this marriage she's in. Sarah's really upfront with the guy and says, you know what? I have 2 kids and it's the first time I've been out in a long time. And I'm married, but I'm going through a divorce. And he's like, okay. Okay. Long story short, they get to the car and she has a kiss with him and she's so giddy and excited, and so is Emmy. And I'm just like, girl, this did not need to be filmed. I did not need to see any of this. It was just weird. That's the end of the throuple. Really interested in seeing what Maria looks like and what Sarah's reaction is gonna be. And it's not gonna be good. All right, so the next couple that we're gonna talk about is Cheryl and Josh. Josh look just like his mama. So Cheryl and Josh are back together, and Cheryl has decided that she is going to move to Colorado. By now, her parents have already moved to Michigan. So I think her sister is the only one still in Texas. So she sent 2 of her kids to Michigan to stay with Mima and Papa, right? While she goes to Colorado to try to set up some life, and I assume bring the kids over when she's done. So she takes her 3-year-old with her though. Has to stay with Tina, who is Josh's mother, and Tina is not wit-witted. And Cheryl is just looking worse and worse in every single scene I see her in. She just, I don't know if she, just, well. So anyways, her car ends up breaking down, or like the wheels, I don't know, something happens. So Tina has to leave the laundromat with Josh, and they need to go pick up the baby and Cheryl because they're stranded. So they get him, and Tina's trying to be cordial. Cheryl's trying to be cordial. Tina gives them 3 days to stay in her house, and then they got to go. And Josh is just excited. I mean, at this point, he's over trying to figure out how to get these 2 to like each other. So he's just like, whatever happens, happens. Tina then goes in on Cheryl. She picks on Cheryl about so many things. About the fact that they've broken up, that the fact that she went online looking for serial killers. I feel like Tina watched season 1 and was ready. You want to get married in an insane asylum, but when my son takes you to a castle, you get upset. So Tina thinks everything that Cheryl does is stupid. So I think they're at day 2 under Tina's roof, and Tina is being really sweet to Cheryl's 3-year-old son. So she's asking him if he's hungry. Like, she's being sweet all throughout the episode. So all we hear is this, because they're not actively filming, they're just doing like a confessional with Josh outside. All we hear is Tina say, because she's mic'd, is, oh, hey, little 3-year-old boy, I don't know his name. Hey, Cheryl, baby. Oh, come over here, clean up your mess. Gotta pick this up. And Cheryl's like, he is 3 years old. You don't tell him what to do. I'll pick up after my son's mess. I don't know what happens after that. Tina hits Cheryl. Cheryl runs out of the house and it's like, we're not staying here no more. She gonna hit me because I'm telling her not to tell my son what to do. Cheryl really doesn't like Tina. She gonna say she wanna slap Tina's dentures out her mouth. First of all, Cheryl, you don't need to be coming for anybody's teeth when your teeth look the way they do. Anyways, Cheryl make me mad, and they're just T-rash. It's just like, ugh, you know, and it's not even fun. Speaking of not fun, next is Clint and Tracey. Y'all, Tracey got picked up in a parking lot in Texas with Clint. Clint had marijuana on him. She had meth. They put her in prison. And when the producers got to her, girl, she looked terrible. The side of her head is shaved. You've seen the pictures online. And she's wearing this big boxy outfit because she has an eating disorder. I'm not sure if she's eating too much or not eating at all. But Tracey's in a bad place. And she's just crying behind bars. And she's just like, I know I messed up, and I'm gonna do better next time. And I'm just like, Tracey doesn't need to be incarcerated. Tracey needs to go to rehab. She needs to really go to rehab. And Clint is not the person to help her. So Clint goes home and he tells his mama what's happening with Tracey. And mama's very disappointed in Tracey, and she starts crying. She's like, Mom, Very upset. And Clint's dad comes home and is like, when are you going to get it through your head, son? This is not the person for you. This is not the situation for you. You could do better. And Clint's like, she's my wife. I'm not going to let her rot in jail. I'm not going to do it. And the parents are at a loss. So Clint then goes to a lawyer, and the lawyer tries to explain to Clint what his options are. $5,000 bond. If she does well while she's on the bond, then things will probably be good. But if she doesn't do well, then things will go bad. And the state of Texas is hardcore. And Clint's like, oh, yeah. So that's where we leave off with them, guys. It's not even fun nor funny. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Sean, John, Shane, and Tracy. All right, so what happens in this? They move into a new place, they get into a fight, and Shane is throwing beer cans all over the place like an idiot. And Lacey takes off looking for John. She calls the police, and she finds out he's been picked up. She like fake cries, and then she goes home to see Shane. Lacey's like, he's gone. He's gone. And I don't know what's happening. She's like bending down at him. It's awkward. Why doesn't he stand up? It's just a lot. It's too much. And he's like, well, good. We can get on with our lives. And he's feeling real good now that John is no longer in the picture. Cut to him actually having a job. Her getting up and making him sandwiches, and the kids being real cute with him, and then him being in a hardware store with his friend where he tells his friend that before they got married, he got upset with Lacey because of John and then went and had sex with some random stranger, and he wants to know if he should tell Lacey. This sounds made up. This sounds produced. It sounds stupid. Of course you don't tell Lacey. His friend is like, no, take this to the grave. And I'm like, you can't now. You said it on national TV. So obviously Lacey already knows, or it's fake and it's set up. That's where we leave off with them. All right, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is Lamar and Andrea. All right, so Lamar is back. You know, it's getting interesting. Now that she's gone ahead and told her group of gossiping Bettys about how she conceived Priscilla, like, it's just so dumb why she chose to tell those group of women. Like, does she not know that they're not her friends? Because I can tell that they're not her friends, and they will be talking about her. She's just a novelty to them. She is a novelty freak sideshow to them. Girl, them ain't your friends? Danielle even ain't your friend. She a hating ass friend. Y'all been drinking the Kool-Aid, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Kool-Aid drink. I feel like Andrea's just living in a fantasy world. I'm a little nasty girl tonight. Don't you want to come with me? So Lamar walks in on Andrea on her hands and knees, and he's asking her like, what's up? She's worried about having to tell the kids about Priscilla's parentage. She's been lying to them this whole time. She really wants Lamar to be the one to tell them. They're going to tell them together, but Lamar's going to be the one to speak because she's too embarrassed to do so. Lamar is just like, all right, I don't know why you're embarrassed though. So I'm gonna get in bed with you right now, okay? And she's like, nah, you go sleep on the couch. He's like, man, this some bullshit. So the next day they take the kids out to some soda cream ice pop shop or something. They get there, and Tennyson and Nyla are like, okay, so why'd you bring us here? What's the news? What's happening? You guys getting divorced? And they're like, no, we just wanted to take you out. And they're like, please, you don't take us out unless there's something to reveal or something to say, so just tell us what it is. Well, we have something to say about Priscilla's parentage. I know you guys thought that I got pregnant by the Holy Spirit, and they were both like, no, we did not. No, we didn't think that. That's not what we thought at all. No. And then like, well, how did it happen? How did this happen? And Lamar is like, basically your mom wanted to tell you because she already told her friends. And that is like, Nyla's like, you already told those circle of ladies our business and you don't even tell me? She's like, girl, my friends already know. The whole school already knows. I can't even trust you. And Andrea's like, Nyla, we're having a conversation. You know, in true Nyla form, she gets up and walks away. And then in true Lamar form, he gets up and follows her. And she's like, Lamar, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at my mom because she's a liar. And the mom is like, I didn't lie. And Tennyson's like, yeah, you technically did lie. Yo, Tennyson is so hilarious. Tennyson and Nyla are the best. Like, I wish there was more of them just like speaking their truth. Priscilla's like, listen, I'm happy you're my dad. I've been happy when you weren't my dad, and now I'm even more happier that you are my dad. And Lamar's like, you okay, Priscilla? And she's like, yes, I just love it. The only thing that makes me mad is that like they both won't budge on where they need to live. Why can't she just move to Texas where he could be comfortable and she could be comfortable? All right, so the last couple that we're going to talk about is Britney and Marcelino. This episode, Britney gives us a little insight on what happened in her life. And so Britney does the thing and she sits down with her mother in a park. Talk about running away from her family at 12 years old and ending up with this 30-year-old man who basically made her feel loved, but used her, got her to commit crimes, got her on drugs, was the father of her first and second kids. And her mother was just crying because she's like, I really did try my best. I wanted to be better than my mother. That should have never happened. And she was just boohooing. Her mother handled it well, which I was happy for her. I'm sure that Britney isn't divulging everything that happened to her, because I feel like if a grown man would take a 12-year-old and get that 14, and like, when did he start having sex with her? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just all this shit that poor Britney had to go through. No wonder she was on meth. And she came out of prison and she is just doing so well. And I want her to continue to do well. I really, really do, because she is a shining example of someone who had a really hard teenage life, really addicted to hardcore drugs, and was able to take the therapy and the help that she was given in prison and come out and apply it to her life. And I just want to give her the biggest shout out and the biggest kudos. And her life now is something that maybe it's not exactly what she wants, but it's a whole hell of a lot better than a lot of people who are in her exact same position. So that was a really like heartfelt opening scene, and I was grateful that Britney was able to share it with us. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this episode. I'll see you in 2 weeks with the other episodes. I mean, the show is good. It's good. There's some characters, you know, it's like, where is Lizzie and Scott? You know, where are they? All right, you guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you want to share this video on other social media platforms, please feel free. All right, you guys, let's have a kiki and a conversation down in the comments section. Don't forget to click these other videos here. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.